Trains have been around for over 200 years, but their immense size and power are still impressive to behold. The average modern passenger train car can weigh up to 80,000 pounds, the weight of a fully loaded semi-truck, and can travel between 70 and 100 miles per hour. However, while largely safe, the physical power and sheer weight of trains makes accidents even more devastating. I'm gonna take a deep dive into 4 cases involving young Black girls who unfortunately met their demise on the train tracks. Yasmin White was an 11-year-old budding piano student at the Davenport School of the Arts. Yasmin was described as a vibrant girl who made a lot of friends and had a lot of energy. On Wednesday, January 3, 2018, White had left Carmelita's Food Mart, located at 2670 Highway 1792 in Haines City, Florida, with some snacks to share with her 9-year-old brother, and took a shortcut over some train tracks. At around 4:45 p.m., Yasmin had been wearing her noise-canceling headphones when a 2-engine Amtrak train carrying 12 passenger cars struck and killed her. According to the train's engineer, Yasmin was crossing the tracks when they spotted her, and that's when they blew the horn repeatedly and applied the brakes. It appeared that she did not make any indication that she was aware the train was approaching her. The train was traveling just below the 70 miles per hour speed limit, and White had looked up and tried to run, but it was too late. The train had hit Yasmin, and she was pronounced dead at the scene, just a few hundred feet from her family's home. The locomotive engineer did not face any charges in Yasmin's death. Yasmin had been expected to return back to school the day after her death, following the Christmas holidays. Fredzania Thompson was a 19-year-old woman who was a student at Blinn College in Bryan, Texas. She was also an aspiring model who wanted to expand on her portfolio, so she, along with a photographer, decided to head to a Navasota train track on March 10, 2017, just before 1 p.m., as she saw the tracks as the perfect backdrop for a photo shoot to launch her modeling ambitions. Thompson was standing between 2 sets of tracks when a Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway train approached. The train crew had alerted them with the horn as they approached them and began the emergency stop process. Eyewitnesses recalled that Thompson saw one train coming and moved out of the way, but she did not realize in doing so, she moved in front of another train coming from the opposite direction, and she was hit by that train. The photographer was not hurt in the accident. Thompson was taken to a local hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Thompson was remembered as a role model and a leader to her younger siblings, and her friends knew her as a hair and makeup whiz. Thompson was also engaged to her 25-year-old boyfriend, Darnell Chapman. Chapman said the couple had just recently found out that they were expecting a child together and was 4 weeks pregnant at the time of the tragedy. 37-year-old Fallon Smith was a mother of 3, an author, and an insurance agent. On June 27, 2019, at about 12:40 p.m. at the 69th Street station on Thursday in Englewood, Chicago, Smith was struck by a northbound Red Line train after trying to retrieve a dropped phone on the tracks. According to an eyewitness, it slipped and fell out of her hand, and she tried to retrieve it. She went on the track to get her phone, but she couldn't get back up from off the tracks, and the L was coming. The L came and it hit her. She couldn't get back up. She should have just left the phone down there. It ain't worth her losing her life. Smith had reportedly ignored repeated warnings to stay off the track, and she was pronounced dead on the scene. After the accident, Smith's last moments were caught on camera and leaked for the world to see. The video had shown Smith climbing down onto the tracks at the presence of a security guard and their dog. And in the video, it shows the security guard not making any effort to reach down and pull her up and out of the tracks. Smith's sister, Brandy Martin, who admits the decision to jump on the tracks for the phone was not a good one. However, she was sickened after viewing the security video as she saw that no one tried to help her. She said, "Didn't no one have no love on that platform? There was no love on that platform for human life, period. My sister cried out for help. No matter what her choice was, she cried out for help, and he walked right past her so nonchalantly. He was turned off from life, a human life. He never reached her hand." The CTA said the guard warned Smith she was not allowed to be on the tracks. However, the high noise levels at the station made it hard to tell if she heard him. The guard went on medical leave after the accident. Not only was the security guard found at fault, as well as the train operator. The Chicago Transit Authority, or the CTA, said they conducted an extensive investigation into the incident, where they interviewed employees and witnesses, reviewed all available video, and examined equipment, among other things, and found the train operator violated guidelines regarding train operations, including attention to duty and safe train operations. The CTA had released video showing the operator in the seconds before the crash, and he was seen looking out of the side window for 12 seconds and not at the tracks. The operator was laughing and pointing before the accident. The Smith family were not able to grieve for their loss when another tragedy in the family occurred a week after her passing. Smith's 22-year-old niece, Akilah Addison, was actually shot and killed in Chicago on July 5, 2019.
My daughter loved on me so hard yesterday, and I didn't even know why.
Brandy Martin's last few moments with her daughter, Akilah Addison, yesterday means so much more today.
The last thing she said before she left was, "I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. Did you hear me? I love you, Mom."
Hours later, she would find out her oldest child was shot and killed while out celebrating the 4th of July. It happened around 3 this morning in the 4200 block of South Wells in Chicago's Fuller Park neighborhood.
My daughter was the innocent bystander. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And the tragedy doesn't end there. 3 years later, Smith's son, 15-year-old Sincere Cole, was shot and killed in the 2400 block of West Marquette Road in Marquette Park on February 12, 2022.
Because I tried. Let me tell you how much I tried.
It's all still so surreal. Her nephew, to whom she was legal guardian, brutally killed.
We spend more time now, 2021, 2022, trying to save ourselves from germs and can't save ourselves from each other.
15-year-old Sincere Cole was seen leaving the Shell station, 67th and Western, just before 7 p.m. Saturday.
Not soon after maybe 3 or 4 minutes, I heard gunshots.
Ralph Kendall works there and found Sincere on the ground, struggling, unconscious, bleeding.
I looked at him, and I felt his neck, see if he was breathing. He took that last breath. He looked at my face and took that last breath.
Police say Sincere was shot 24 times after meeting his gunman along the sidewalk. The motive unknown.
Mitchell, Nuabuaku was a 4-year-old girl who was born in 2017 in Dallas, Texas. Her and her family had moved to Canada in 2018. Michelle, her dad Emmanuel, her mom, and her 2 other siblings were staying at her uncle's apartment with 4 other cousins in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, on July 26, 2022, before the unthinkable happened. According to her dad, it was an ice cream day when Michelle, her sisters, and cousins went downstairs to the park, and that just only 15 minutes later, he got a call that she can no longer breathe.
Peel Police, Metrolinx, and members of CP Rail are trying to piece together how this could have happened. Around 7:30 last night, the GO train with 300 people on board was coming full speed around a curve on the Milton line near Dundas and Cawthra when the child was struck. Mohammed works at a mechanic shop that backs onto the tracks and tells me what he and others witnessed was truly heartbreaking.
I walked down there, like right under the bridge. There was 4 kids. They were screaming like crazy.
Mohammed tells me he called 911 right away, and then a woman came rushing down to the tracks and scooped up the little girl.
The gentleman that I spoke with, he said that he was outside with his dog, and he heard a scream, and then he saw a woman like running around with something in her arm, and he said all he heard was her screaming, "You killed my child, you killed my child."
What had happened was his children were chasing a butterfly before Michelle walked through a path and onto the train tracks, where she was struck by an incoming train. Shortly before 9 p.m., Peel Police confirmed that Michelle was pronounced dead at the scene. Residents in the area spoke to CP24 after the incident and said the lack of barriers to the train tracks is a known issue, and that it's not uncommon to see people crossing the tracks. Michelle was described as a happy child who brought joy to everyone's lives.
Michelle is a lively person. Michelle is a cheerful person. Michelle have touched lives. Since Michelle came into our life, Michelle have touched lives.
Emmanuel was not only dealing with the loss of his child, but the loss of his mom, who passed away 2 days prior to Michelle's death. Emmanuel said that was why his family was staying with his brothers, as they had planned his mother's funeral arrangements. After her passing, Michelle's family launched the Butterfly Project, a foundation in memory of her. The Butterfly Project's mission is to create community awareness to call for precautionary steps to better protect children playing in areas that are vulnerable to accidents, so no other family has to go through the pain of losing a child in these or similar circumstances. That is all for now on these cases. I hope this video was educational enough for those to understand that trains are nothing to play around with, and that their weight and speed does not discriminate. They can harm you if you do not keep a safe distance. Please keep off the tracks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I will see you next time on Melanin Mysteries.